Well, Capricorn, there comes a time in everyone's life when you have to basically change the way you do things. And this month, June 2018, we're going to be looking at how Uranus, this planet here, the planet of disruptive or revolutionary change, is going to radically alter your life over the next 7 years. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au, by the way. For those of you that are new, welcome. And we're talking about this as a predominant theme for you, not just now, but for the coming 5 or 6 years. Uranus is a slow-moving planet. And for your conservative nature, which we sometimes say Capricorn is conservative, irrespective of that, even if you're a little more of a progressive, this planet in the 5th house, which is an earth sign, just like your sign, is going to bring some pretty big creative shifts for you. Now, the 5th house is love affairs, children, creativity, spiritual initiation in some schools of thought. So having this planet move here recently, you may already start to feel, if not the disruptive quality of the planet, because also we see there's a controlling mechanism here by your ruler, Saturn, then you'll start to have some inkling of that, I think. In any case, if you've been stifled creatively, if you've been having any difficulty relating to children, this is really going to explode from within yourself, the inner child, that's for sure. And that's not a bad thing, as long as you can keep it controlled and directed in ways that are going to not unsettle your lifestyle or your relationships. But I doubt it, so you're going to have to work a little bit harder over the coming months and years to do that. Let's animate this, because we see the month starts off June 1st and 2nd with Moon, the planet of relationships, as we're talking about that, in close conjunction with Saturn. A little bit hard for you to express your feelings in the first part of the month. You may be explosive around the 3rd or 4th, though, when the Moon touches Mars in the 2nd house. Be careful of your communications and your negotiations around the 6th when the Moon touches Neptune. You see the 4th house, domestic activities, the 8th and 9th. And then the big one there is the trigger of Moon with this Uranus that we're talking about. Relationships come together strongly here. The factors, Moon ruling the 7th, Uranus also being in the 5th. These two sectors are relationships. So a strong note there that may create the proper environment for these changes to, at least in a seed form, start to take place for you. Do take a look at some of these other planets, Venus in particular, which is transiting in your 7th house of relationships. It is a very, very good planet and brings with it, overall, some lovely connections with the one you love, new connections for those of you that don't have relationships, and Mercury also sneaking in there around the 12th. So by that, what I mean is I'm sort of giving you all the heavy-duty stuff here of what Uranus is going to do to shake things up. But, you know, you do have some juxtaposed planets and, you know, other sort of undulating experiences that go with that. But what we're talking about here, for the most part, the theme is the underlying impact of this revolutionary planet on your relationships, your creative thinking, and your, you know, your amorous affairs and love affairs and so on and so forth. There's a new moon on the 14th. Here it is in your 6th house. This is your workplace activities. This has to do with health as well. One thing you'll know, did you know that, you know, some of you know that I had a couple of heart attacks last year. Leading up to that, there was a lot of anger and angst. And apparently it is a fact that, you know, the chemicals that are associated, the chemical changes that are associated with heart attack victims, some of them do suffer a lot of anger. So this is where health and fitness, what we're seeing here, the 6th house new moon, can indeed affect some of these relationships, as it did in my case. I wasn't very nice to be around, I must tell you. So do pay some attention to what this new moon is telling you in terms of your health, fitness, well-being, your diet, all of those sorts of things. Creative interactions with the Moon and Mercury there around the 15th, 16th. And then lovely intimacy as Venus, the Moon and the North Node combine in your 8th house. This is a great time for exploring how you can deepen your relationship through physicality, not just the emotional side of it, but this is the physical act of sex and actually demonstrating your feeling and your love for the other person. Moon in the 10th house is nice around the 21st, 22nd, with profitability being shown as the moon enters into conjunction with Jupiter on the 23rd. That's nice, actually a bit earlier than that. 12th house is a bit of a low-key period and also an expense period. Just hold on to your bucks at that time around the 24th and 25th. The moon moves back into the initial conjunction we saw on the 1st of the month. So you may need to revisit some of those things that are dampening your nature, especially with that full moon taking place on the 27th. This again is all relating to your relationships and can have to do with business associations if you're that way inclined. It's a pretty intense month, as it will be for most of us. Money is the final connection there with these three planets again, Moon, South Node and Mars in your second house on the 30th. Take a look at what I've written up for Uranus in my blog at astrology.com.au and also the daily, monthly and yearly horoscope. So you get all of this in the context of what's going on. I do look forward to your company next month. Stay in touch. You know where to contact me if you need to. Take care. Bye-bye.